What up everybody, I thought I'd just let you know that I'm starting off my first attempt at video blogging in the key of G, just in case you want to sing along later. Cool, we're all in tune, let's go. So, I've been building up to doing this for quite a while, and it's something quite scary and intimidating, almost like doing stand-up comedy, except I'm behind the safety of my camera and not in real time in front of an audience. But hey, let's just enjoy ourselves, shall we? So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Anna. I'm a 29-year-old freelance writer from London, full-time nutter, and what I want to talk about today is how I learned how to go from a person who couldn't express and was so terrified of what other people thought of me that I was completely neglecting my dreams and my art and my expression, to being a person who's comfortable jamming, learning any instrument, freestyling, putting my writing out there and doing video blogs and putting them out there on YouTube in the hope that some people might be interested. So here it goes. So to give you the recap, I grew up as a really shy and introvert person, which seems to surprise people when I tell them that. I was like the smart girl in my year, and as long as I got good grades, nobody seemed to really bother what happened to me or, you know, how I felt about things. Then when I got to the University of Cambridge, which always seems to make people look at me differently, as if they're like, oh, she's a smart chick, while still acknowledging my privilege. So I got there and I created a confident identity for myself, like a carapace of confidence to exist behind, and it was really useful. But if you don't feel that love from yourself from the inside and out, then it's all going to fall apart. And that is exactly what happened when I was 23. From years of partying and embracing psychedelics in the wrong way entirely, I had 3 severe episodes of psychosis. The first one was 6 months and was like pain I couldn't even describe to you. I've tried in writing and I'll keep trying the rest of my life. Second one was 3 months. Third one was 2 months long. That ended in December 2016. A few months later, April 2017, I found out, well, I self-diagnosed that I have bipolar. The NHS have not been very helpful on that front, to be honest, but I think that they're evolving as an organisation, so let's keep rooting for them in terms of their ongoing battle to deal with the mental health of this batshit crazy country. So since it's been like over a year since I found out I have bipolar, and it's enabled me to get to know myself on a more intimate biochemical, neurological level, and doing things like journaling, meditating, yoga, having a routine and a ritual every day in which to ground and root myself, in my authentic self. That has changed my life completely, and it's enabled me to express in a way that I always dreamed I would be able to. You know, when I was a teenager, I'd meet really confident chicks and I'd be envious of them, and I'd just think, oh man, it must be so nice to grow up with that kind of natural confidence. And what I've realised since then is that some people do. Some people grow up in a really holistically, psychologically nurturing environment. Some people, most people, we all have our own shit. Like, we all have the things that hold us back. And when you start to chip away at the things that cause you that kind of subconscious pain, that's when you really get to the point where you're able to express, or you're able to create things, or you're able to believe in yourself enough to make things. So that's where I've been at. I started playing guitar when I was 24, when I was so ill I couldn't leave this flat that I was in Clapton. And the repetitive rhythm of the music just gave me something to focus on other than the fact that I was losing my mind. And yeah, since then I've been learning how to jam with people. I've had some really supportive musicians in my life who've helped me on this journey. And you start to realise that it's okay if you suck at first, and in fact you're supposed to. But we get so scared of that stage that it stops us from doing anything. So I've just been at Meadows in the Mountains festival in Bulgaria. I was supposed to be there with my new boyfriend, but his passport got stolen at Stansted Airport, and despite a couple of people lending us money to help with a new passport, and him having 3 nationalities and going to the UK, Dutch and American embassies. It was all a universe says no situation. What can you do about that? Not a lot. So I was there by myself, and I had this weekend where I just strapped this thing, my new uke that I've had since December, to my back. And I determined to be a lone wolf and not get caught up into group dynamics, not get caught up in taking things when I don't really want to, not get caught up in watching music that I'm not really finding that interesting. But you know, rolling with people whose vibe felt good to me, and also going to workshops, jamming, doing all the things I always wanted to do at a festival but was usually too messy to be able to engage with. So I wanted to tell you a bit about that, because there's like that weekend was like an intense creativity workshop for me, and it really helped me realise some of the last remnants of my fear and self-hatred and how I got over it. So, you know, been through this whole thing with trying to get John out there, and it was really emotionally intense, and we had to just admit at one point that it wasn't going to happen, and that, you know, there was nothing we could do to get him travel documents in time. And I was at the healing stage on the Thursday. I'd walked my friend up there who was volunteering, and I'd had to tell the story so many times already that it started becoming a story with a narrative and a beginning, middle and end. And I was talking to some people about it, and I decided to play a song that I sing, that is a cat power song in the Juno soundtrack, Sea of Love. I'll do a little verse of it if I can. Come with me, my love, to the sea of love. I wanna tell you how much I love you. Oh, 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 oh. And so on. So I used to change the lyrics in that from I love you to I miss you, because I was too scared to admit to John that I loved him, because that's what a pussy I am sometimes. I guess we all are in our own ways. So I was at the healing stage and I played that song, and I was just playing it to like 2 people originally, but then like everyone in the stage suddenly turned around to watch me perform, which is always such a nice feeling, like to feel like people appreciate you and actually want to listen to you. And at the end, people clapped, and it was such a rewarding feeling, considering I'd consider myself a new musician. And then, move back a bit, so I'm actually in frame. And at the end, there was this huge lightning rainstorm going on. There were like explosions happening over our heads. We were right up in the mountains, so it was quite terrifying. And at the end, I was like feeling so much rage, joy, catharsis. I let out this howl, like, ow! And this thunderclap went at the same time, and I really thank the special effects G in the sky for hooking me up in that moment. And yeah, everyone went ooh, and that just felt really exciting. And then, but I also felt really sad, you know, because when you sing a song like that, you have to put emotion into it, and you have to think about the sadness of missing someone you really love and them not being there. So I was like trying to get my performative clown hat on. I was like, all right guys, which way should I go, up or down the mountain? And everyone, like a pantomime dame with a nose piercing and pink hair, like hippie chick pantomime, and everyone was like, up, 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 obviously, because they're not going to chant down, because that would be negative vibes and not conducive with festival atmospheres. So I like took this emo stomp through the rain with my raincoat up, and I went and sat in this dragon's mouth. And at the Meadows, they have this giant wooden dragon. It's an amazing creation. This year it had added LED and propane fire shooting from its nose. So I went and sat in this thing in the pouring rain, being covered by the roof of the dragon's mouth, playing this thing into the valley. And I thought, do you know what? the only person who would dare interrupt me in this moment of solitude and emotional vent would be a really cool person. And that's exactly what happened. This chick Emma came over who built the dragon with her boyfriend Rob. Maybe some of you know them, and it was really great to speak with her and just realise that, you know, there's so many creative people out there in this world, and it's so amazing when you get to meet people who have done things that you think, oh, impossible and inspiring, but everyone starts somewhere, and you have to just give yourself the space to start small and to make mistakes and to keep going with it. You know, like so many people that I played music for that weekend said, oh, I wish I could play ukulele, or I wish I could learn an instrument. And you know, and I had so many I wishy things in my life. Like, I only was able to hula hoop when I got back from Meadows. I always thought it was a thing that I just couldn't do. I maybe just didn't have the coordination. Other chicks are just cooler than me because they can hula hoop, and they can hula hoop really goddamn well, and by gosh, it's a revolution of hooping. And I got back from Meadows, picked up the hoop that I'd been looking at, put it in the garden in a place where I could actually use it, and just gave it a go. And you know, before you knew it, hooping was happening. So I guess the point of this ramble is to say that, you know, wherever you're at on your personal journey through life, trying to express, trying to be more of who you are, that there is a path that you can follow. There is a path available to all of us, and it involves more creative expression. It involves putting yourself out of your comfort zone. It involves doing things that scare the shit out of you. Like, I can't tell you how much I was like shaking with the idea of doing this. And the only reason I'm doing this right now is because a good friend, Nick Venter, who runs Miyoko, was chatting to me on Facebook video, and she said, Anna, you should do video blogging because people would actually watch it, because people don't read anymore. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I guess I'm going to keep going with this because I need to practice my flow if I'm ever going to do stand-up again, because by gosh, that's scarier than this shit. And I hope that at least one of you watching this, if you've taken the time, I thank you very much, will feel encouraged to do something that scares you, that you really want to do, and that you feel like your life will never be complete if you don't just give it a go. Just give it a go. Right, okay, I'm going to play the entirety of that song, so switch off now if you can't be asked, but here we go. Come with me, my love, to the sea of love. I wanna tell you how much I love you. Do you remember when we met? That's when I knew you were my pet. I wanna tell you how much I love you. Come with me, my love, to the sea of love. I wanna tell you how much I love you. Thanks for watching, guys, and never let anything like missing a chord slightly put you off doing anything you want to do in life, because you should never let the bastards get you down, and live long and prosper and all that shit. Peace.